Hey guys, today I'm here to talk to you about the Beaded Bandolier Bag of the Delaware peoples from the New Orleans Museum of Art. This bandolier bag was created circa 1860 and is made of glass beads, wool straw, silk, and cotton cloth. We can start by jumping into some formal analysis, beginning with the color. The beaded bandolier bag consists mainly of various shades of red, blue, and green. Specifically, these shades are either rather light, exemplified by the salmon pink color of the left bandolier strap, green of the right strap, or the red and white tassels and main pouch. Or they have a richer and deeper hue, shown by the darker blue on the left strap and main pouch, and the darker red of the right strap. While these colors are vivid and bold, they are not in and of themselves harsh and invasive, give off a rather soothing and subdued feeling of nature because they aren't overly bright or artificial, and look like something you can actually find in nature. Also, the white outlines around the patterned shapes emphasize contrast between the light and dark, giving a sharp distinction between what is the pattern and what is the background. The white, combined with the light and dark contrast, keeps the viewer's attention within its boundaries, drawing to the unique patterns that stand out against the lower value backdrop. Regarding the lines, the bandolier bag has defining organic curvilinear patterns that constitute the floral shapes of the bag, consisting of both semicircular curves and extensions, as well as wavy lines, such as in the left pattern. These curved lines express a soft, alluring feeling, with the lines reaching outward and inviting, as opposed to being sharp or abrasive. As such, they look rather smooth and safe, and give off a reassuring and natural aura. The curvilinear pattern itself is biomorphic, resembling the rounded look of natural organic objects, and thus playing into that natural feeling. There are a few straight diagonal lines within the pattern, and diagonal lines usually represent movement. Specifically within this piece, across the shapes, they mimic a feeling of expansion, growth, and life, as if they're extending along their lengths at the diagonal angle in either reaching outward or inward. On both sides of the straps, the curved patterns create a four-membered structure, in blue on the left side and in red on the right, possibly alluding to four cardinal directions or a division of the earth into four quadrants, such as seen in the Mesoamerican. The way that the curvature comes together on the left strap, meeting at the ends and mirroring the pattern, presents a feeling of unity and continuity, as like the wavy lines come together, while the right strap has the curved green ends and projections pointing towards a diamond, which gives a more focused, centralized feeling. According to Khan Academy, the red and blue color schemes possibly represent a contrast between the celestial realm and the underworld realm, and it seems as if the contrasting feelings of unity on the left strap versus an unbalanced, centralized pattern on the right strap may also play into this dichotomy. The whole piece, however, can't be placed into perspective without seeing the bag with its performative aspect. There are likely some formal aspects that are missed without seeing the bag in action in ceremonial dance, such as perhaps the shimmering reflective nature of the beads, which would possibly evoke the bright feeling and essence of the celestial realm. After exploring the form, we can take a deeper look into the function, content, and context of the work. A majority of the influence in the artistic decisions in making the bandolier bag came from Native American and European interactions. According to Khan Academy, bandolier bags were created after the style of bags that European soldiers wore and used for ammunition cartridges. In addition, the European trade greatly changed the type of materials used. The Europeans introduced a variety of cloth materials of new textures, such as silk, cotton, wool, velvet, and leather. And of course, they introduced the defining glass beads. The Native Americans came to favor the special seed beads, the finest of which came from Venice, Bohemia, and Czechoslovakia. According to the Milwaukee Public Museum, the seed beads replaced the traditional porcupine quills used for embellishment, and seed beads allowed for the evolution of curvilinear patterns, which were impossible with the straight-edged porcupine quills. The use of seed beads increased the European influence in the bandolier bags by also allowing the incorporation of the more curvilinear, organic, and floral patterns that were commonly found in European tradition. It also changed the methods of creating new embroidery because the porcupine quills required techniques that differed from the loom beading needed for seed beads. The seed beads were considered quite expensive and rare, and there was a high level of skill involved in making the bandolier bags, thus placing high economic and social value on these bandolier bags. Some men would even own and wear multiple bandolier bags at one time. According to NebraskaHistory.org, which is run by the government of Nebraska, their Sioux tribe valued their own bandolier bags at worth a pony each. Bandolier bags' most prominent role, however, were within the sphere of religious and ceremonial purposes, with the bags being made by women as an accompaniment to men's ceremonial outfit, which was used for ceremonies and dances. For primary content, the artwork is a bandolier bag, but in secondary content, according to the New Orleans Museum of Art, this bandolier bag of the Delaware peoples is unique in that it exhibits not only the bold colors characteristic of the Delaware peoples, but also the thick straps characteristic of the southeastern peoples, and a square-shaped pouch commonly found and derived from the Great Lakes region. The 1830 Indian Removal Act that forced all Native Americans east of the Mississippi River into the newly established Indian Territory on the west side may have caused a blend of different cultures, bandolier bags, styles, and aspects in the circa 1860 post-Indian Removal Act Delaware people's bandolier bag. The All-T'oqapu Tunic of the Inka, made from 1450 to 1540 CE of camelid fiber and cotton, in comparison to the bandolier bag of the Delaware peoples, exemplifies the effects of tradition and change within the artwork of the indigenous Americas. The All-T'oqapu Tunic and the bandolier bag have many aspects of tradition in common. They both exhibit a highly intricate design involving intensive loom working by talented women made for men. Both involved forms of cloth in their weaving as well and indicated status and wealth. However, there are some aspects of the tunic that were not incorporated into the newer bandolier bag. For example, the square geometric designs that were specifically given to elites within the Inca culture were replaced instead by newer, organic, curvilinear patterns from the European tradition. In fact, the iconography that was representative of individuals and families found in the Inca culture on the tunic, such as, for example, checkerboard squares representing military status, cannot be found in the bandolier bag. In addition, while both used styles of cloth, the Incas stuck to their native camelid fibers and cotton, while the Native Americans branched out to include silk and leather after their trade with Europeans. While the rich colors of the Incan tunic were drawn from natural dyes, such as the red representing power and status of the cochineal bugs, the bandolier bag already had prefabricated colors from the seed beads. The function of the Inca tunic was mainly a social and economic one, exhibiting wealth and status, while the bandolier bag also incorporated a newer religious function with the ceremonies and dances that the bag was used for. Overall, the bandolier bag was a starting point for Native American beadwork and heavily exhibits the European influence on Native American art.